In this video, again, I'm here with Conrado, our head Muay Thai instructor. We are going to deal with defending against two-handed chokes. So this would be a two-handed choke from the front, from the back, or from the side, okay? And a lot of these defenses are interchangeable with grabs. So you can use the same defense if somebody basically used a two-handed collar grab here, or somebody grabbed your collar from behind like this, okay? Either one of those, in many cases, these are interchangeable. The first thing is, it's actually very easy to avoid a choke. If somebody's coming in like this, all I have to do to get out of this choke is, before it even happens, is I just lift one shoulder and I turn my body and I imagine myself striking this wrist with this shoulder, okay? So if he comes in to grab me and try to grab me, try to choke me, it's actually pretty easy to slip out of that, okay? So that's your first, that's the first thing you can do. If somebody comes in, grabs, you get loose and you're ready to fight, okay? If he actually latches onto my collar or my neck at this point, if I've got space here between the arms, what I want to do is control one hand. So I'm going to grab the thumb. Let go here. And what I want to do is I'm just going to grab this meaty part of the thumb right here with my elbow up. And all I need to do is, I'm not going to try to pull this away or out-muscle him. In many ways, it's actually good for him to be attached to me at this point. But all I want to do is drop my elbow to my rib cage. And that will peel the thumb away, especially if it's on my throat. This will take the pressure off. So the good thing is, if a guy's got both hands attached to me, he can't hit me with one of those hands. So I don't have to worry about having one hand up to block any potential incoming strike. If I have space here, what I'll do is I'll just simply grab the thumb, drop here, and I'll shoot this hand right up between the arms. I can do a palm strike to the nose, I can hit him here, I can give him an eye jab. But that's the basic motion. So I'm going to strike here, I'm going to drop that, after the strike, drop that hand to cup his shoulder, and from there I'm going to strike in the groin, and I'll twist it back, and take it down. Okay, so again, it's strike, knee, and strike. Okay. Let me show that from the other angle. He's got me here. Grab the thumb, drop the elbow, strike, drop that hand, cup the elbow, cup the shoulder, knee to the groin, step back here. It's important that when you try any kind of a trick like this, you have to have your hip to hip. If I'm out here, if I'm out here, trying to take him down, it'll never work. I have to be real close here so that when I push on his chest, get my leg, it takes him down. Now, if he grabs me the same way, these elbows in close here, it's going to be risky for me to try to take a shot up between his elbows, okay? If the guy's got long arms, he's got it out here, I may not have a very effective strike from this range, okay? So a good defense that works very well in this case starts the same. I grab the thumb, drop the elbow. I'm going to step away from this hand at a 45-degree angle, and I'm going to simply, I'm going to step, I'm going to bring this arm over to momentarily trap both of his hands, and from there I'm just going to release elbow strike to the face, knee, and okay. So again, the critical part of this is drop the elbow, step forward at a 45-degree angle, trap both hands. He's not going to stay here for more than a second, but just enough to trap both arms so he can't defend his face and strike. Okay? Let's try from the other angle. So, let's see that. So he grabs me. Rather than grab this thumb on this technique, I'm going to reach over and grab the opposite hand here. And I'm going to pull the hand back. This is only to get him to turn his head, right? So this can be as a push, it can be a slap. All I want to do is get him to turn his head here. And then all I do is I step forward and do an arm bar. Okay? And this is what, you know, we a lot of times refer to as sort of the drunk uncle technique. This is a case where you have a friend or somebody you don't really want to hurt. He's drunk. He's just being a complete jerk. So you don't want to hurt the guy, but at the same time, you don't want to allow this to continue. So all you're trying to do here is sort of a submission, something easy that will end it without either person getting hurt. Okay? When you're doing any of these arm bars, I don't know what the best angle to show this is. Maybe at this angle here, but anytime I'm trying to use this arm bar, what I want to do is, I don't want to attack with my palm flat. I want to turn my arm so that my thumb is up. I want to start at my wrist right on his tricep, right above the elbow, and as I'm stepping forward, I want to basically roll my arm along his muscle to get that rotation motion. So I'm not just pushing him like this, which is what a lot of people want to do. What I'm doing here is actually rotating his arm, and then as I do that, I step forward so my hips and everything transfer the weight here. So I want to maintain control of this wrist. I've got this right here, and I'm in a position where I can very quickly release, okay? I don't want to hang out here, because if I hang out here, he's just going to basically take my leg. So as soon as I get him in this position, I want to step out of it. Okay, so let's do that one more time. All right. Okay. So now the two-handed side choke. So he's got me from the side. I've actually never seen this happen before, but we do have a defense for it. And this is actually really easy. So if somebody grabs me here to latch on, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab the thumb with my elbow up, drop my elbow down. I'm not going to try to pull this away and outmuscle him. I'm just going to simply use the weight of my arm to give me a little bit of space. From here, I can backhand, hammer fist, shot to the groin. So I'm going to do that. If I hit him here, his head's going to drop. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this arm, come straight up his chest with my forearm flush against his body, and catch him underneath the chin. Okay? One more time. So grab the thumb, down, strike, under the chin. Now from here, two things are going to happen. One is I've knocked him out, or knocked him back so hard that he's going to start to go backwards. If he starts to go backwards, I'm going to just hold on to this, and I'm going to turn it into a wrist pattern as I kick out his leg. Okay? So this time, just give me a little bit of momentum backwards so we can, right? So drop the elbow, strike here, take him down. The other thing that could happen here is that when I drop the hand, strike here, he actually falls toward me. So he starts coming toward me. In this case, I'm just going to rotate out. I'm going to pivot off of the foot that is further away from him, keeping that foot fixed, and just rotate out so he drops forward here. And I'm just simply going to step out, maintain control of this wrist, and groin kick. Okay, so we'll do it a little bit quicker. Do this. Drop, strike, elbow to the chin, step out, groin strike. Okay? All right. So that's the basic defense against the side choke. Almost all self-defense systems, Krav Maga, Kanchi Kempo, they use the same one because it's just too obvious. Somebody's got both hands attached here, they've got their groin wide open. This is just the obvious thing to do. Okay. If somebody grabs me from behind, here, I'm going to grab both thumbs in this case. So if he's got my throat here, first thing I'm going to do is drop my chin to my chest. That makes it easier for me to get my hands on his thumbs here. What I'm going to do is I'll maintain control of one of those. I'll step away with one of my legs, or the leg that's on the same side as the hand I choose to lock, and I do the same thing. Groin strike, elbow strike here, and now what I'm going to do is drop underneath. Here, I can strike again. I can strike with the knee. So, here, pull down, strike, strike, drop underneath, strike, strike. Okay. The other option I have is, the other defense that I can use is if I take both hands, take the pressure off, all I'm going to do is rotate and drop my head and shoulders and do a full rotation here, okay? So here at this point, it's actually pretty easy to take somebody down. Right here. The trick is you have to, it's not going to work if you cross the arms here. You got to cross them high, okay? You can do the takedown without anything else. In the Gracie self-defense system, what they add to it is they simply step forward. You okay? And that works very well. The only thing that makes that difficult to practice in class is that pull this away, you rotate. As I'm doing this, as I step in, there's really no way he can prevent his leg, his knee from getting twisted. So it's pretty risky from the standpoint of knee injuries. So it's good for people to know how to do that. Not so easy to practice in class unless we don't have a lot of injured students. Okay? One more time. Okay? All right. Okay, that's it for the two-handed grabs, two-handed chokes.